He promised never to see me again, yet he showed up at my family dinner like fate dragged him there. The fork slipped from my fingers, clattering against the porcelain plate loud enough to slice through the chatter of aunts and uncles piling on seconds of mashed potatoes and green bean casserole. My heart slammed against my ribs as Jordan's eyes met mine across the harvest-strewn table, that familiar spark igniting something I'd buried deep under layers of denial and small-town resolve. It was Thanksgiving in Elmwood, Ohio, the kind of crisp November evening where the air outside bit like regret, but inside Aunt Rita's colonial house, it was all forced warmth and the scent of over-roasted turkey. My family had gathered as they did every year. Mom fussing over the gravy, Dad carving with the precision of a man who'd rather be watching football, my little sister Ellie sneaking bites of pie under the table. They didn't know about us, about the nights Jordan and I had stolen in the back of his beat-up Chevy, whispering dreams against the hum of cicadas. They didn't know because I'd made sure of it, swallowing the truth like bitter medicine after he walked away 6 months ago, his voice cracking as he said, "This town's too small for what we are, Alex. We can't keep pretending." But here he was, sliding into the empty seat beside cousin Mark, who clapped him on the back like an old war buddy. Mark worked construction with Jordan's dad, and apparently, that bond extended to surprise invites. "Alex, you remember Jordan from high school?" Mark boomed, oblivious to the way my throat tightened. Jordan offered a nod, his smile polite as a stranger's, but his green eyes held a storm. Guilt, longing, something sharper I couldn't name. I forced a laugh, mumbling about how it had been ages, while under the table, my knee bounced like it was trying to escape. Dinner dragged on in a haze of small talk. Uncle Ted launched into his annual rant about kids these days and their phones, gesturing wildly with his wine glass, splattering Merlot on the tablecloth. Mom shot me a look, our silent code for keep the peace, and I nodded, poking at my stuffing. Jordan contributed just enough. A chuckle at Ellie's corny jokes, a comment on the Packers game that had Dad nodding approvingly. He looked good, annoyingly so, broader in the shoulders from whatever manual labor he'd thrown himself into post-breakup, his hair cropped short like he'd enlisted in some personal war against memories of me running my fingers through it. As plates cleared, the real torture began. Rita corralled us into the living room for family stories, that post-meal ritual where everyone dredged up embarrassing anecdotes. I sank into the worn plaid couch, wedged between Ellie and Grandma, praying for invisibility. But Jordan ended up on the floor, cross-legged like he belonged, his back against the coffee table. When it was my turn, something about the time I face-planted during prom, his gaze burned into me, pulling threads loose from the careful tapestry I'd woven around my heart. That night, after pie and too many refills of spiked cider, I slipped out to the back porch for air. The sky was a blanket of stars, sharper than city lights ever allowed, and the cold seeped through my sweater like an accusation. Footsteps crunched behind me, and there he was, hands shoved in his pockets, breath fogging the air between us. "Alex," he started, voice low, like saying my name was a risk. I turned, arms crossed, the porch light casting long shadows that made him look both familiar and foreign. "What the hell are you doing here?" The words came out sharper than intended, laced with the hurt I'd marinated in for months. He winced, rubbing the back of his neck, a tell I'd once found endearing. "Mark invited me. Your aunt, too. I didn't know you'd be. I mean, it's your family. How could I say no?" "Easy. You say, thanks, but I've got plans, like you did when it mattered." The bitterness surprised even me, but it flooded out now, unchecked. We'd met senior year, two awkward kids bonding over shared shifts at the local diner. He was the golden boy, varsity quarterback with a laugh that lit rooms, hiding his confusion behind easy charm. I was the quiet artist type, sketching in corners, wondering why crushes on girls felt like borrowed emotions. Our first kiss happened in the rain after a game, desperate and electric, like finally breathing after holding it too long. But Elmwood wasn't kind to differences. Whispers followed us, sideways glances from coaches and classmates. When Jordan's dad found out, overheard a phone call, pieced it together, he laid into him. "This ain't us, son. Fix it or lose everything." Jordan chose silence then, pulling away until the space between us echoed. I had to, he'd said that final night, tears streaking his face. For my family. For sanity. And I'd let him go, because loving him meant surviving the pieces left behind. Now, under the porch bulb's harsh glow, he stepped closer. I've thought about you every day. That promise. It was stupid. A lie to make leaving hurt less. My chest ached, a fresh bruise forming. It worked, then. For both of us. He reached out, fingers brushing my arm, and electricity hummed where we touched, same as always. Not for me. Alex sighed. The screen door banged open. Ellie poked her head out, cheeks flushed from sugar. Mom says help with dishes. And Jordan, you gotta try her pecan pie. It's legendary. Her innocence shattered the moment, and Jordan dropped his hand like it burned. Yeah, kiddo. Coming. He flashed her a grin, then looked back at me, eyes pleading. We need to talk. For real. I nodded, numb, as we filed back inside. But sleep evaded me that night on the lumpy guest bed, replaying his touch, his words. Dawn crept in with fog over the fields, and I knew one thing. Whatever came next, Elmwood's grip was loosening, and the truth I'd buried was clawing its way up. The next morning brought a fragile normalcy. Mom bustled in the kitchen, flipping pancakes with the efficiency of someone who'd raised 3 kids on sheer will. Dad was already out in the garage, tinkering with his old Ford, the radio blaring classic rock as a buffer against conversation. Ellie chattered about school drama, her crush on the debate team captain, a girl with braces and a wicked sense of humor, blissfully unaware of the undercurrents swirling around her brother. I poured coffee, black and scalding, when the doorbell rang. Mom wiped her hands on her apron. That'll be the neighbors. Go answer, Alex. I'm elbow deep here. It wasn't neighbors. It was Sarah, my best friend since kindergarten, bursting through with a Tupperware of her mom's famous cinnamon rolls and a hug that squeezed the air from my lungs. Sarah was the one person who'd known everything, held me through the breakup, her own heart scarred from coming out to a family that responded with prayers and patience instead of pitchforks. She was queer as a $3 bill, proudly so, with her buzzed sides and collection of enamel pins that read "Love Wins," and they them thine. Seeing her now, in her oversized flannel and ripped jeans, felt like a lifeline. Survived the turkey coma? She teased, plopping the container on the counter. Her eyes scanned me, sharp as ever. You look like you saw a ghost. Or worse, your ex. I froze, but she laughed, low and knowing. Kidding. Mostly. Spill. Before I could, voices drifted from the front hall. Mark, dropping by to pick up tools he'd left last night, and dragging Jordan along. My stomach twisted as they entered, Jordan carrying a 6-pack of craft beer like an offering. Morning, folks, Mark said, all easy grins. Figured we'd fuel up before the big game watch. Mom lit up. Jordan, stay for breakfast. Alex, set another place. Trapped. I busied myself with plates, but Sarah's eyebrow arched, her gaze flicking between us like she was piecing together a puzzle. Over syrup-drenched pancakes, conversation flowed, Mark dominating with tales of job site mishaps, Dad chiming in with his own war stories. Jordan sat across from me, quiet but present, his foot accidentally, or not, brushing mine under the table. I jerked away, heat rising in my face. Sarah, ever the instigator, leaned in. So, Jordan, what have you been up to? Alex here won't shut up about his art show in Columbus next month. You should come. It's got that whole queer voices vibe. The table stilled for a beat too long. Mom's fork paused midair, Ellie's eyes widened. Jordan coughed, covering smoothly. Art show's my jam. Might just swing by. I shot Sarah a glare that could melt steel, but she winked, unrepentant. She knew what she was doing, poking the wound to see if it still bled. And it did, profusely. After breakfast, as the men migrated to the TV for pregame analysis, Sarah cornered me in the mudroom. He's here, and you're a mess. Talk to me, Alex. What's the play? I don't know. I leaned against the dryer, arms crossed. He wants to talk. But what if it's just pity? Or worse, he's changed his mind about everything. She softened, squeezing my shoulder. Then you listen, and you decide. You've spent too long hiding, babe. Elmwood's thawing. Hell, even my folks asked about you last week, wondering if you're seeing anyone nice. It's time. Her words lingered as I slipped out later, claiming a walk to clear my head. The neighborhood was postcard perfect. Leaf-strewn sidewalks, kids raking piles into bonfires, the distant call of a turkey farmer's truck. But my mind raced ahead to the what-ifs. What if Jordan had come out? What if his family had disowned him, and this was his way of reaching for solid ground? Me? I ended up at the old swing set in the park, where we'd carved our initials into the wooden beam years ago. The chains creaked in the wind, a lonely song. Footsteps approached, and I didn't need to turn to know it was him. Figured you'd be here. Jordan's voice was soft, laced with nostalgia. He sat on the adjacent swing, toes dragging in the gravel. This place hasn't changed. Neither have you, I think. I swung lightly, the motion a small rebellion against stillness. Liar. I'm a ghost of who I was. You made sure of that. He stopped swinging, facing me fully. I was scared, Alex. Terrified. Dad. He said things. About weakness, about the town turning on me. I believed him because it was easier than fighting. And now? The question hung, vulnerable. Now? I've been seeing a therapist in Toledo. Online sessions, mostly. Turns out, pretending doesn't fix shit. It just delays the implosion. He paused, I searching mine. I miss you. Not the hiding, but us. The real us. My throat burned. It's not that simple. My family's here, Jordan. They love me, but they don't know me. Not all of me. And if I drag you back in, we do it together. His hand found mine on the chain, warm and steady. If you'll let me. We sat there until the cold numbed our fingers, talking in fragments. About his new job at the auto shop, my sketches gathering dust in my closet, the friends we'd lost touch with. It felt like mending, tentative stitches over a ragged tear. But as we walked back, hands brushing but not holding, I couldn't shake the shadow at the edges. Elmwood had eyes everywhere, and secrets like ours didn't stay buried long. That afternoon, the house filled with more arrivals, cousins from Cleveland, bearing board games and gossip. The living room devolved into chaos, Monopoly money flying, accusations of cheating over charades. Jordan blended in seamlessly, his charm a shield, but I caught the strain. The way he deflected personal questions with jokes, the flicker when Uncle Ted grumbled about those Hollywood types pushing agendas. Sarah pulled me aside during a lull, her expression serious. Ellie just cornered me in the bathroom. Kid's smarter than we give her credit. Asked if you and Jordan used to be a thing. I played dumb, but Alex, she's ready to know. We all are. My stomach dropped. Ellie, at 14, with her rainbow stickers on her binder and questions about why the neighbor's son moved away after coming out weird. She'd been my shadow, idolizing my cool big bro status. Telling her meant risking that pedestal. As evening fell, we gathered for leftovers, the table a battlefield of Tupperware and wine bottles. Laughter peaked when Rita recounted Dad's failed attempt at deep-frying the bird last year, flames and all. But tension simmered beneath, my awareness of Jordan acute as a live wire. Then it cracked open. Ellie, emboldened by Sarah's subtle nods, piped up. Hey, Alex, remember that time in high school when you and Jordan stayed out all night stargazing? Mom was so mad. Innocent enough, but the room quieted, eyes darting. Mom smiled tightly. Kids being kids. Jordan shifted, and I saw it. The decision forming. Actually, Mrs. Harlan. It wasn't just stargazing. His voice was steady, but his hand trembled under the table where it rested near mine. The air thickened. Dad's fork paused. Rita's eyes widened. I held my breath, heart thundering. We were together, Alex and me. For real. Jordan's words landed like stones in still water, ripples spreading. I messed it up, walking away. But I'm here now. Because he matters. Silence stretched, eternal. Then Ellie beamed. Duh. I knew it. You're both sappy romantics. Mom's face crumpled, not in anger, but something raw. Hurt for the hiding, love unbroken. Alex, why didn't you say? Tears pricked my eyes. I was afraid you'd stop seeing me. Dad cleared his throat, voice gruff. Son, we see you. Always have. He glanced at Jordan, appraising. Just, no more secrets. Deal. The dam broke then. Hugs, questions tumbling gentle as autumn leaves. Sarah squeezed my hand, her grin triumphant. Jordan's eyes met mine across the chaos, a promise renewed. But as the night wound down and guests trickled out, a text buzzed my phone from an unknown number. Saw you two at dinner. Careful, town talks. A friend. The shadow returned, sharper. Elmwood wasn't done with us yet. The days after Thanksgiving blurred into a tentative rhythm, like skating on thin ice. Beautiful until it wasn't. Jordan and I started small. Coffee runs to the diner where we'd first met, hands lingering over shared mugs, conversations skirting the edges of what we'd lost. He rented a tiny apartment above the auto shop in town, a step away from his parents' sprawling ranch house on the outskirts, where his dad still nursed grudges like old whiskey. Mom's coming around. He told me one frosty morning, steam rising from our cups. Baked me cookies last week, with a side of bring him for dinner sometime. I laughed, but it was edged with nerves. My own family had thawed faster than expected. Mom slipping articles on supporting your LGBTQ kid into my stocking at Christmas. Dad awkwardly offering to hang my art in the garage for practice. Ellie declared herself our official hype girl, blasting Hosier from her room and grilling Jordan on his favorite rom-coms. Sarah, of course, was the architect, organizing queer game nights at her place, inviting Mia, the barista from the coffee shop who'd just come out as bi and was navigating her evangelical parents with the grace of a tightrope walker. Mia became part of our orbit quickly, a whirlwind of curly red hair and infectious energy, her laugh cutting through doubts like sunlight. She'd moved to Elmwood from Cincinnati for a fresh start, working doubles to save for art school. "This town's got charm if you squint," she said at our first game night, dealing Uno with flair. "And hot mechanics don't hurt." Her wink at Jordan had me feigning offense, but it felt good, normal, even. Laughter is armor. Yet cracks formed. Whispers followed us at the grocery store, old classmates averting eyes at the gas station. Jordan's dad, Harlan Sr., sent a terse email. "Proud of your work ethic, son. But this phase? It'll pass. Don't drag good people down." Jordan showed it to me one night, his jaw set. We were in his apartment, takeout Chinese cooling on the coffee table, the space cramped but ours. Posters of indie bands on the walls, my sketchpad open to a half-finished portrait of him. "It's not a phase," I said, fierce. "We're not." He nodded, but doubt shadowed his eyes. "I know. But Dad, he's all I've got tying me here." Mom's too scared to push back. We talked until the takeout congealed, his head on my shoulder, my fingers tracing patterns on his arm. It was intimacy rebuilt, brick by careful brick. No rush, just presence. But that night, as I drove home through fog-shrouded streets, my phone lit up with another anonymous text. "Harlan boys playing house. How long till it blows?" Attached was a blurry photo. Us at the diner, angled like surveillance. Paranoia crept in. I deleted it, but sleep was fitful, dreams tangled with accusations and slamming doors. Winter deepened, blanketing Elmwood in snow that muffled sounds but amplified isolation. Christmas approached with its obligatory cheer, and my family insisted on a joint dinner. Me, Jordan, Sarah, Mia, even inviting Jordan's mom, Linda, under the guise of neighborly potluck. Dad grumbled about too many bodies, but his eyes twinkled when he strung lights on the porch, declaring it festive enough for a crowd. The night was magical at first. Mom's tree glittered with heirloom ornaments, Bing Crosby crooning from the speakers. Ellie orchestrated a gift exchange, her haul including custom pins she'd made. Tiny rainbows for Sarah, a wrench for Jordan etched with fixed hearts, not just cars. Linda arrived hesitant, her arms laden with fudge, eyes darting like a deer in headlights. She hugged Jordan stiffly, then surprised us all by pulling me aside. "He talks about you, you know, in that quiet way. Says you're steady. Thank you for that." Her words thawed something in me, and dinner unfolded with tentative warmth. Stories of childhood holidays. Mia regaling us with tales of her Irish grandma's cursed fruitcake. Jordan's hand found mine under the table, a secret anchor. But fate, that cruel puppeteer, had other plans. Midway through dessert, the doorbell rang. Harlan Sr. stood there, snow-dusted and stone-faced, coat unbuttoned like he'd stormed over without thought. "Linda? What's this I hear about dinner?" The room froze. Jordan stood, chair scraping. "Dad, it's just family stuff." Harlan's gaze swept the table, lingering on our joined hands before Jordan could pull away. "Family? This ain't family." It's a damn sideshow. His voice boomed, laced with beer and betrayal. Mom rose, ever the diplomat. Mr. Harlan, please. Join us. There's Pie. He barked a laugh, bitter. Pie? While my boy's throwing away his future. Eyes on me, you. Seducing him back into this nonsense. Gasps rippled. Jordan stepped forward, voice steel. Enough. It's not Alex's fault. It's mine for listening to you. For years. Harlan's face reddened. You think Elmwood forgets? Coach Reynolds called today. Says the team's hearing rumors. Sponsors pulling out. All because of your lifestyle. The word landed like a slap. Linda whimpered. Ellie clutched Sarah's arm. Mia's eyes blazed, but she held back. I found my voice. It's love, sir. Not a lifestyle. And it's ours. He sneered, but faltered under the collective stare. Dad's quiet fury, Mom's unyielding calm. You're breaking her heart, he muttered to Jordan, nodding at Linda. Then, to all, this town's got rules. He turned, slamming the door behind him. Silence shattered into motion. Linda sobbing into napkins, Jordan pacing, me frozen. Sarah rallied, pouring brandies all around. To hell with rules, she toasted, fierce. We clinked, the sound defiant. Later, as snow fell thicker, Jordan and I cleared the walk together, shovels scraping in rhythm. I'm done hiding, he said, breath clouding. For you. For us. I nodded, but the anonymous texts echoed. Someone close was watching, waiting to strike. New Year's brought a fragile hope. Sarah hosted a small party at the local VFW hall, renting it out for Queer Elmwood's first bash. Balloons, a playlist of Lady Gaga and Frank Ocean, Mia DJing from a laptop. 30 souls showed. Out-of-towners, brave locals, even a few allies like the librarian who'd stocked more rainbow books after Ellie's request. Jordan and I danced, awkward at first, then free, his hand on my waist, my head on his shoulder, the world narrowing to bass thumps and shared heat. But midway through, my phone vibrated. Another message, enjoy the party. It'll end soon. Watch her. Attached, a photo of us dancing, time-stamped minutes ago. Someone here. Panic clawed. I scanned the crowd, faces friendly, but shadows lurked. Jordan noticed, pulling me aside. What's wrong? I showed him. His face paled. We tell Sarah. Now. She cursed, eyes narrowing. Creeps local. Mia, you got that security cam app? Let's review footage. No cameras, but we questioned subtly. Suspicions fell on Mark, Jordan's cousin, who'd grumbled at dinner about changes, but he swore innocence, hurt flickering. Or the bartender, ex-military with a grudge against activists. Nothing stuck. The night ended with resolve. We'd fight back, not cower. But as Jordan walked me home, arm around my shoulders, I felt the noose tightening. Love was worth it, but at what cost? Spring teased Elmwood with erratic warmth. Mud season, locals called it, when snowmelt turned roads to slurry and hearts to mush. Jordan and I navigated our own thaw, dates evolving from stolen coffees to weekend hikes in the Hocking Hills, where waterfalls drowned out doubts. He'd started therapy in earnest, driving to Athens twice a month, returning with journals full of scribbled insights. Turns out, I internalized a lot of Dad's crap, he confessed one evening, us sprawled on a picnic blanket, wildflowers nodding in breeze. Fear of abandonment. Classic quarterback baggage. I traced his knuckles, marveling at the calluses from wrenches and gears. You're unpacking it. That's huge. My own growth came slower, spurred by Sarah's nudges toward a local support group. Queer Coffee, they called it. Bi-weekly meets at the community center, facilitated by a soft-spoken trans man named Theo who'd fled Cincinnati's scene for Elmwood's quiet. First session, I sat rigid, clutching a styrofoam cup, as stories unfolded. A lesbian couple fighting custody battles, a non-binary teen dodging school bullies. When my turn came, words stuck, until Jordan's encouraging text buzzed in my pocket. Broke up because I was scared of losing family, I blurted. Now? Terrified of losing him again. Theo nodded, kind. Fear's the real enemy. Name it, and it shrinks. Group became anchor, Mia joining too, her by identity a bridge between worlds. Dating apps are a minefield, she vented one meet. Straight guys ghosting when I mention girls, lesbians side-eyeing the choice. We laughed, bonded and shared absurdities. But Homefront simmered. Harlan Sr. maintained icy distance, showing at Jordan's birthday barbecue only to deliver a new toolbox for real work and leave early. Linda hovered, baking apologies in pie form, but her eyes pleaded for reconciliation. Give him time, she whispered to me at the farmer's market, baskets brimming with asparagus. He loves you boys. Just differently. Different felt like a chasm. Jordan confided late nights. Dad's passive-aggressives. Saw your truck at the gay bar in Toledo. Hope it's just for darts. Lies, but they stung, eroding Jordan's confidence. Our intimacy deepened. Kisses lingering longer, bodies curling close on his couch to Netflix binges, but tension threaded through, a quiet undercurrent. Then the storm hit. Anonymous texts escalated. Photos of my car keyed with slurs outside the diner. Jordan's shop window soaked with FAG. We reported to Sheriff Hale, a grizzled vet with a rainbow sticker on his cruiser. Wife's idea, he grunted, but evidence was thin. Kids pranking, he dismissed, though his eyes said otherwise. Sarah dug in, her reporter instincts from college paper days firing. Let's trace the number. Fake texts baited the hook. Replies came crude. Stay in your lane, fairies. IP led to a burner, but the tone, petty, personal, screamed inside her. Suspicion landed on Tyler, Jordan's old teammate, now a deputy under Hale. Tyler, who'd cornered Jordan post-graduation, don't make it weird, man. At a group hike, Mia confronted him casually over trail mix. Heard about the vandal. Any leads? Tyler flushed, deflecting. Nah, probably outsiders. But his fidget said volumes. Confrontation brewed at the annual Elmwood Fair, carnival lights strung like promises, air thick with fried dough and cotton candy. Jordan and I wandered booths, hands linked defiantly, Ellie trailing with Sarah and Mia, cotton candy staining lips blue. Laughter peaked at the ring toss, Jordan winning me a stuffed bear bigger than my torso. Then Tyler appeared, uniform crisp, badge glinting. Harlan. Word. Jordan stiffened, but nodded. I followed, heart pounding, to the shadowed edge of the Ferris wheel. Text stop, Tyler muttered, voice low. Or I leak your dad's debts. Shop's collateral, right? Jordan's fists clenched. You? What? Tyler sneered. You were the star. Now, parading this. Gesture at me. Ruins it for the rest of us. Town's changing because of you. Rage boiled. It's not a parade, it's life. Back off. Tyler laughed, ugly. Or what? Your little art fag calls the press. I stepped forward, voice steady. We already did. Sarah's got everything. Your prints on that soap bottle? Sloppy. Bluff, but it landed. Tyler paled, glancing at the crowd. This ain't over. He slunk away, but victory tasted ash, fear's residue. That night, Jordan crashed at my place, family out for movie night. We lay awake, his head on my chest, heartbeat sinking. I'm done with Elmwood, he whispered. Columbus. Together. Art scene for you, shop job for me. Tempting, but roots tugged. What about family? We build our own. His kiss sealed it, soft but sure. Spring bloomed into conflict's crescendo. Harlan Sr. cornered Jordan at work, ultimatum blazing. Choose, family or this delusion. Jordan chose truth, voice breaking. I choose me. Us. Dissolement followed, swift as a slammed door. Linda wept, packing his boyhood things in boxes, but slipped a note. I'm proud. Call me. Grief hit Jordan hard. Nights of silence, tools idle. I held space. Sarah organized fundraisers disguised as queer art auctions. Mia painted murals on his shop wall, vibrant abstracts of intertwined hands. Group therapy became lifeline, Theo guiding. Loss reshapes, doesn't destroy. Ellie's turn came unexpectedly. At my Columbus art show preview, a small gallery gig featuring local LGBTQ creators, she cornered me backstage. You're glowing, bro. But scared. Jordan, too. Kid had insight beyond years. Yeah, big changes. She hugged fierce. Change is good. Like when I told Mom about liking girls. Scary, but now? Free. Mom had known. Relief flooded. You're brave. Nah, just honest. Her grin mirrored mine. The show night crackled, canvases alive with stories. My portraits of Jordan's profile in light and shadow, Mia's bold abstracts, Sarah's photo series on hidden lives. Jordan stood proud, hand in mine, as applause swelled. Harlan Sr. didn't come, but Linda did, tear-streaked, hugging us both. Beautiful, she whispered. Post-show, Anonymous ceased. Tyler's transfer to county, whispers of investigation. But true climax brewed at Pride planning meet. Elmwood's first, spearheaded by Theo. Backlash erupted. Petitions to cancel, church flyers decrying moral decay. Council meeting packed, air electric. Jordan spoke, voice amplified. Pride isn't against you, it's for us. All of us. I followed, sketches projected. Elmwood reimagined, rainbow flags waving beside steeples. Cheers drowned boos. Vote passed, narrow but seismic. After, on the town square green, Jordan pulled me close under string lights. We did it. No, we survived it. Together. Summer scorched Elmwood, humidity clinging like unspoken regrets, but our world felt lighter, unburdened by winter's weight. Jordan and I dove into Pride prep with fervor, posters plastered on lampposts, bake sales funding floats, Ellie designing t-shirts with slogans like Love's Local. Sarah helmed media, her articles in the county paper framing it as community unity, Mia choreographing a flash mob to Born This Way that had volunteers stumbling through steps in the park. Harlan Sr.'s absence loomed, a ghost at family barbecues. Linda visited weekly, bringing tamales and tentative questions. How's the apartment hunt in Columbus? Jordan deflected gently, but pain lingered, etched in his quieter moods. Therapy helped. Theo recommended family sessions, but Harlan refused invites, his pride a fortress. My art flourished, commissions trickling from the show, portraits for out couples in nearby Athens, a mural for the community center depicting intertwined lives in vibrant oils. Jordan surprised me with a home studio space in his apartment, a converted closet with floodlights and easel, ribbon-wrapped. Create, he said, kissing my temple. Without fear. Nights blurred into domestic bliss, cooking pasta disasters, binging Schitt's Creek, marathons, his laughter rumbling against my back in sleep. Intimacy wove deeper, not physical frenzy but emotional nakedness, sharing boyhood shames, dreams deferred. Wanted to coach, he admitted one starry evening on the fire escape. But Dad said queers can't lead. I sketched him then, pencil capturing resolve in his jawline. Yet misunderstandings festered. At a group hike, Mia confessed a crush on Sarah, tentative and terrified. She's straight-passing, but vibes. Sarah, oblivious or avoidant, laughed it off as flirty fun, leaving Mia gutted. I mediated awkwardly, pulling Sarah aside. She's serious. Don't talk. Sarah's eyes widened. I didn't see. Shit. Her own history. Exes who bailed on labels. Made vulnerability a minefield. They talked under the waterfall, emerging hand in hand, tentative. Dating, Sarah announced at coffee next day, blushing. Officially. Joy mingled with envy. Not jealousy, but a pang for how easily labels shifted. Jordan sensed it, squeezing my hand. Our pace is ours. Prejudice reared subtly. A slashed tire on Mia's bike. Dyke, keyed faint. Whispers at the diner about that pride nonsense attracting riffraff. Tyler's shadow lingered. Rumors of his demotion fueling bar talk. Sheriff Hale called us in. Got a lead. Kid from his old crew bragging. Charges pending. Relief, but wariness persisted. Ellie, ever the barometer, tested waters at school. Club for Diversity Allies, forming. Her as president. Some jerks, she confided over ice cream. Called it gay club. But others? Curious. One boy asked about you and Jordan. Said it's kinda cool. Progress, inching. Climax brewed at Linda's surprise dinner. Her olive branch, inviting us, Sarah, Mia, even Theo for neutral ground. Harlan knew, she said, but wouldn't attend. Table set with her best china, pot roast simmering, tension thick as gravy. Talk flowed halting, Theo's transition stories softening edges, Mia's humor defusing awkward pauses. Jordan opened up, miss you, Mom. Dad too. But this is me. Linda teared. I see. Finally. Then, doorbell. Harlan, uninvited, face thunderous. Heard voices. Thought I'd. Check. Air sucked out. Jordan stood. Stay? Please. Harlan eyed the group, lingering on Theo's pronouns pin. This your circus now? No, I interjected calm. Our family. He deflated, shoulders sagging. Linda's been crying buckets. Can't fix that alone. Sat, stiff, as plates passed. Questions came halting. Art pay well. To me. Shop busy. To Jordan. By pie walls cracked. Harlan grunted approval at Ellie's t-shirt design, even chuckled at Mia's fair anecdote. No apologies, but a truce, fragile, real. After, Jordan and I walked home, stars winking. He came. He marveled. Love's stubborn, I said. Like us. Misunderstanding struck next. Anonymous letter to the paper. Pride peril. Protecting our youth. Signed, concerned parent, but handwriting matched Tyler's scrawl from old yearbooks. Sarah investigated, uncovering his petition drive. Dozens signatures, churches rallying. Backlash swelled. Council reconsideration, protest threats. We rallied. Counter petitions, ally letters. Ellie spoke at school board, voice steady. Pride's about acceptance. Like how you accepted me. Her words went viral locally, tips pouring. Harlan surprised. Donated shop space for meetups, grumbling for the kid. Pride Eve. Rain threatened, but dawn broke clear. Floats assembled. Jordan's truck bedecked in rainbow streamers. My banner, Love Local. Sarah and Mia's kiss cam booth. Crowd swelled. Hundreds, flags waving, music pulsing. March kicked off, hands linked, hearts full. Harlan watched from sidewalk, Linda beside, nodding. Tyler lurked edges, but Hale's cruiser deterred. At stage, Jordan spoke. We march not against, but for. For every hidden heart. Applause roared. High on adrenaline, we celebrated. Picnic in park, toast to survival. But surprise waited. Mia, pulling Sarah aside, ring glinting, promise band. Not yet, but soon. Tears, hugs. My turn for quiet moment with Jordan, under oak. Forever, he asked. Always, I whispered. Summer waned with afterglow. Art sales booming. Jordan's coaching gig at the rec center. Harlan's nudge. Friendships deepened. Group trips to Cedar Point. Lazy lake days. Yet tension simmered. Tyler's trial loomed, dredging old wounds. Testify. Hale asked. Jordan nodded. For closure. Court day, small town buzzed. Tyler's defense. Pranks gone wrong. But evidence mounted. Texts, witnesses. Jordan's testimony, steady. Hate hides fear. I know, I lived it. Verdict. Community service, probation. No jail, but reckoning. Tyler approached after, mumbling, sorry man. Jordan clasped shoulder. Fix it. For real. Healing rippled. Fall painted elmwood in fire. Leaves crimson, air crisp with cider and change. Jordan and I balanced worlds. His coaching little league, kids tumbling in rainbow jerseys. My gallery show in Columbus, canvases shipped in bubble wrap. Commute tested us. Weekends stolen, calls nightly. But it forged resilience, like steel-tempered. Sarah and Mia's engagement buzzed. Small ceremony planned. Backyard affair with fairy lights and Mia's grandma's recipes. You officiate? Sarah asked me. I sparkling. Honor swelled. I pinned vows weaving their story, from awkward flirts to unbreakable. Harlan's evolution staggered. Weekly dinners. Questions evolving from gruff to genuine. Read that book your mom sent. He admitted over brisket. Cheeks ruddy. On parents and, you know. Jordan's hug lingered. Unspoken thanks. Ellie navigated high school drama. First girlfriend. Shy violinist named Clara. Braces glinting in kisses. Advice? She begged. Notebook clutched. Be you, I said. The rest follows. Group thrived. Theo expanding to youth sessions. Non-binary kid Riley joining. Eyes wide with possibility. First time not hiding. They shared. Voice cracking. We cheered. Family forged. But conflict crested with surprise. Jordan's ex, Nate, from college fling days, pre-us, returned. Spotted at the auto shop, charming clients, now partnering on expansion. Just business. Jordan swore, but unease gnawed. Nate was polished, city slick, tall, with a beard and stories of New York galleries that echoed my dreams. Dinner at ours turned awkward. Nate's compliments laced flirt. Eyes on me too long. Alex, your work's killer. Ever think corporate? Jordan tensed, fork scraping. Later, fight erupted. He's history, Jordan insisted, pacing. Why doubt? Not doubt, fear, I admitted. Of losing you to easy. He pulled me close. You're not easy, you're everything. Nate's shadow lingered. Invites to network, a sketch he loved from my portfolio. Sarah sniffed sabotage. Exes stir shit. Mia agreed, but urged talk. Confrontation at shop. Nate cornered, casual. Heard you two hit rough patch. I get it. Jordan runs hot, then cold. Lies twisted. We talk. Unlike some. He smirked. Suit yourself. But Columbus? Bigger pond. Seed planted, doubt bloomed. Jordan sensed, overcompensating. Surprise weekend getaway to the hills, cabin with fireplace. Recommit, he said, ring box simple, silver band, engraved us. Tears blurred. Yes. But high crashed. Harlan's heart scare, mild attack, hospital lights harsh. We rushed, Jordan white-knuckled drive. Waiting room limbo, Linda pacing, Ellie texting prayers. Harlan, pale in gown, gripped Jordan's hand. Scared me, son. Seeing clear now. Reconciliation raw. Sorry. For all. Harlan to me. Your family. Discharge brought care rotation, soups, check-ins. Bond strengthened, prejudices husk shed. Misunderstanding peaked at engagement party, backyard twinkling, grill smoking. Nate crashed, old-time sake, bottle in hand. Toast slurred into digs. Jordan always chased stability. Cute. Jordan snapped, voice rising. Out. Now. Chaos. Guests murmuring, Mia hurting. Nate sneered. Told you cold. Left, but damage done. Jordan retreating, me chasing to porch. It's him, not us, I soothed. Know me. Patterns. Therapy echo. Fear of abandonment looping. We unraveled. His confessions of Nate's toxicity, post-breakup hookups masking pain, my admissions of imposter syndrome, art as escape. Dawn broke with resolve. Couples counseling, Theo's wreck. Sessions peeled layers, Jordan's dad wounds, my hiding scars. Progress. Date nights intentional, vulnerabilities shared. Climax at County Fair Redux. Pride booth thriving, rainbow kettle corn selling out. Tyler approached, sober-faced, volunteering. Make amends. Skepticism, but Jordan nodded. Earn it. Evening, under fireworks, Nate texted Jordan, leaving town. Good luck with the picket fence life. Delete. Laughter bubbled, freedom. Fall deepened, leaves falling like old skins. Gallery offer. Full-time in Columbus, relocation package. Jordan's shop countered. Partnership stake, stay roots. Torn. We weighed. Nights debating pros. Cons. Ellie voted stay. Build here. Harlan. Proud either way. Sarah and Mia. Where hearts lead. Decision crystallized at group. Both, Jordan said. Commute, then join you. Hybrid life. Relief sang. Thanksgiving circled. Full table. Harlan carving. Linda toasting to truths. Hook echoed. Fate's drag, but now chosen. Winter's hush settled. Snow blanketing Elmwood in quiet possibility. Jordan and I prepped the move. Hybrid, as decided. Meet to Columbus 3 days, him anchoring shop. Weekends merging worlds. Packing unearthed relics. High school yearbooks scrawled with inside jokes. That carved swing beam photo, faded but fierce. Family rallied. Mom hosting farewell brunch. Ellie baking lopsided cake. Harlan hauling boxes in his truck. Grumbling city traffic's hell. Linda gifted quilt. Stitches stories of her youth. Hit a crush once. Regrets colder than snow. Sarah and Mia's wedding loomed. New Year's Eve, intimate under stars. I officiated, words weaving. Love isn't absence of storm, but dancing in rain. Vows exchanged, rings glinting, kiss sealing. Reception wild. Bonfire, Esmores, Mia's grandma, toasting with Irish lilt. Post-honeymoon, they honeymooned local, cabin getaway, returning with tales and inside jokes. Your turn, Sarah teased, elbowing. Jordan's eyes twinkled. Our band felt prelude. Challenges lingered, commutes grind, Jordan's late shifts clashing schedules. Misunderstanding flared, missed call, worry spiraling to accusation. Are you pulling away? Fight brief, makeup fervent. No, tired. Love you. Counseling honed tools. Check-ins. I feel statements. Growth bloomed. Jordan joining art walks in city. Me wrenching at shop on visits. Prejudices embers. School board debate over inclusive curriculum. Opponents dredging Tyler's past. Ellie testified. Knowledge fights fear. One narrow. Surprise twist. Nate's return. Email to gallery. Collaborate. Polite decline, but stirred old doubts. Jordan laughed. Ghost him. We're solid. Climax crested spring. Elmwood Pride's second. Bigger. Parade route doubled. Corporate sponsors wary but in. Harlan marched. Sign. Proud dad. Linda arm-linked. But sabotage. Float tampered. Jordan's truck brakes cut. Subtle. Hale investigated. Shop rival. Jealous of expansion. Not queer hate. Arrest swift. Relief profound. March day dawned perfect. Bands playing. Confetti raining. Jordan and I led. Hands clasped. Ellie waving from convertible. At stage. Surprise. Harlan spoke. Voice booming. Used to think different was threat. Now. Strength. Applause thundered. After party. Park feast. Toasts endless. Theo announced expansion. Regional group. Mia pregnant? Surrogate dreams. She winked. Evening waned. Jordan pulling me to swing set. Our origin. Full circle. Kneeling. Ring anew. Gold. Etched initials. Marry me? Here. There. Everywhere. Tears, yes. Cheers erupted. Family. Friends circling. Years blurred in montage. Wedding small. Ohio orchard. Vows under blooms. Harlan walked Jordan. Teary. Sarah best woman. Mia matron. Ellie ring bearer. Life layered. My studio thriving. Jordan's chain opening Columbus branch. Ellie college bound. Queer studies. Harlan grandkids later. Adopted. Loved fierce. Friendships endured. Annual reunions. Sarah's novel on small-town loves. Mia's illustrations. Misunderstandings? Faded to footnotes. Growth's price. Final hook. Years on. Family dinner. Our table now. Kids giggling. Jordan's hand in mine. He whispers. Fate dragged, but we stayed. Love enduring.